What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to Ball Band React. This has been a big one that has been requested recently by many of you. It's also been a little bit since I've done some Dir En Grey. So we're going to do all three versions of the track Ash. The next one of these I want to do after this is I want to get into Decayed Crow. But first, we're going to do Ash. I hope I have the correct versions here. I've got the Behind the Mask version, I've got the performance video, and I've got the new version that they just put on the single for their latest. So, let's go ahead and get into it as usual with these guys. I've got lyrics up in a separate window. I'm looking forward to seeing how these three versions stack up. The band is Dir En Grey. This is the Behind the Mask version of Ash, and here we go. I like the electronic elements there.
Ash.
A lot of those really punk elements here. Definitely get a lot of that 90s production. That snare sound is really interesting. You got a very raw quality to this whole mix. Really raw quality to To's voice as well. Sinya seems happy back there, able to play more of a punk groove. Toshia really stands out here. You can really hear a lot of differences. You can hear spanky guitar tones, they're not nearly as heavy. Love that really waltzing bass line back there, man. Honestly, the mix is kind of endearing in a way. It's so raw that I can't help but enjoy it. In this version, truly, I feel like the bass is the star. Those guitar tones are like U2 level thin. That bass really just carries it. Toshi is such a great player. Really like the solo there. Wish it was a bit more forward in the mix. It's almost getting drowned out by Toshia. I like the lead trade-off as well. I think this is the oldest track I've heard from Dir En Grey so far, going all the way back to 97. Such a great groove, and it's fun and it moves. The music certainly does not mesh up with the lyrics. These lyrics are so pained and tortured, but the music is just a lot of fun. Like that little bit of industrial again. Though it isn't necessarily representative of the track, it's kind of an interesting inclusion. It's funny, you can listen to Shinya playing there and hear that he was relying on that simple blast even back then. See, they were still doing those very tortured screams, even back in this era. I'm not sure it needed to be this long, but it's certainly enjoyable. I like that dive bombing solo at the end that they're kind of fading out to. That was a cool touch. Alright, that was the first version of Ash that came off the 1997 compilation. And it's certainly really raw. And production is raw. The whole song itself just feels very, very raw and very new, very early representation of what they were doing. I liked the lead trades. That was actually really cool. For me, the bass is certainly the star. The drum sounds were really not very well done. They're just that snare sound was on the thinner side. It kind of sounded like somebody smacking paper. But it's really interesting to hear that side of the band and to hear what they were doing and how they were starting out. Certainly hear the ability of all the members really well. I mean, you can certainly hear just how good Toshia was even back then. So that's a interesting rarity. I know some people didn't even know there was this version, so that was cool. It looks like the performance video is a little different, so let's get into the performance video of Ash. This was released in 2000 originally, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. This is the second version of Ash, and here we go. That projector sound to open things up. It's a nice touch. industrial elements were toned down a little bit.
Ash.
It's a really different mix. Honestly, I think this is more raw and almost even more muddy than the original version. More vocal effects on Ko's voice. Bass is far less present. Guitars are a little more forward. Riffs and the distortion sounds honestly remind me a little bit of My Life with Real Feel Cold in the way they sound here. That's a really different feel. Gotta be honest, I think I might have preferred the first version. Still got really nice movement to it. It's just the production, the mix is like a completely different beast. I don't feel like Ko is as uncontrolled vocally as he was on the first version either. He had that more of that raw, manic feeling to him, a more urgent feeling to him. Got a different impact with clean guitar lines there. A little more clarity in the lead tone. I don't feel like the solos is good though. Definitely has less of the punk feeling and the punk influence of the first bit. Bass sounds a touch muddier here too, as well as the fact that it's just not nearly as audible in the mix. video was interesting. Visuals didn't really do anything for me, but it was kind of, even back then, designed for that shock value and to creep you out. Some of the effects going on in guitars are different. It's like they're trying to add a little bit more chaos to it, but I feel like the first version was a little more chaotic. It's a different way to close it out here as well. It's a little bit longer, looks like, about 40 seconds. So that was the second version. That was I guess the original album version of Ash. And I gotta be honest, I like the first version a whole lot more. Second version seemed a little more tame. The first version was just it felt so much more raw. Like I think the guitar sounds were better. I think the drum sounds were better. I think the bass actually sounded worse. I think the production overall was a little more muddy. You didn't have as much clarity and articulation in what the instruments were doing. And it certainly, to me, had a different feel than the original version. And quite honestly, I'm just not sure if it was better. To me, I really do think I like the first version a bit more. Now, granted, if I didn't know, if you wonderful people out there in subscriber land hadn't said that there was a version going back to '97, I wouldn't know it existed, and I wouldn't know what I was missing. But I certainly think the first version appeals a whole lot more. Now, this is going to be interesting. This is quite a bit shorter than both versions are, at 4 minutes and 37 seconds. This came off the new single here. And I think for most people, this tends to be the highlight of the single, is this rework of Ash. And I'm not sure. I think the lyrics might be slightly different as well. So I will pull those up really quickly here. And get into and it looks like these are different. So, all right. Let's get into the third and final version of Ash here. This is the new single version. And here we go. Oh, wow. Definitely a different mix. I like how, compared to the single, Toshi's bass isn't buried here. Again, it's a really different feeling. It's heavier, it's more aggressive. The lyrics are completely different. At least what I'm getting from the translation. Drums are more clear. Get a little bit more of that straightforward blast to Shinya. Got more of a poppy feel here in the chorus. Wow, this is a completely different mood. much more polished. Got some of that harmonizing here with the lead. It's interesting, at least according to the wiki, how different the lyrics are. If the lyrics haven't changed, please let me, in the translation of the wiki's wrong, just let me know in the comments. I like the groove of this one quite a bit. The industrial elements, they're still there, but they're toned down a bit more here. They build bigger into the grooves here. It's more punctuated, it's more accented. You get that big bass swell from Toshia. Like that scream there, did a good job trying to sound unhinged. This definitely has more of a metal feel. The riffs are heavier, got a bit more bite and attack to them. The guitars are much more forward in the mix. The bass is sitting low, but they really do focus more on that sugary hook here in this version than they did on the other two. It's a really, really interesting contrast between all three versions. They're all really different songs in a lot of ways. The mixing and the production is different. The tones across the spectrum are different. The lyrics, it seems, in the third version, the lyrics between all three have some slight variations to them. The vocal delivery is a bit different. You got that big difference here with the solo being an acoustic solo to start out, or acoustic but a clean solo to start out, and then it builds into the aggressive solo. I honestly prefer the first version out of all of them. I know you guys might look at me a little weird, but I think out of the three, I think the original 1997 version was my favorite. I liked that raw, uncaged, unbridled aggression and nastiness, that punk-tinged edge. I actually do really like the bass driving that track. I think you get a really great feel, even in that era, just how good Toshia was and is as a bass player. You know, the drums were a little iffy in the production, in the way they sounded, but I think I preferred them as well. I think I certainly preferred Ko vocally here in the first version because he's so much more raw and all that aggression and that venom that he's trying to convey, I think, comes out better. And I actually really like the solos in the first version better. They were a little lower in the mix than I'd like them to be, but I think I certainly preferred the solos there. Out of the other two, I like the newest version better, and I think that it certainly makes the track more of a metal track. The mix isn't as muddy, it's far more clear, but it's interesting just how they changed the track on all three versions. You know, you're not listening to the same track. There's certain parts of it that are familiar, and the structure is familiar, the riffs are familiar to an extent, but they certainly all have their own unique and individual feel, and this is a really, really cool idea to do these three together. It certainly gives me a different appreciation for the band, and I really appreciate the suggestions from all you guys, from Rabbit, from Zero, from Robert, and several others of you that also wanted me to do Ash in all three versions. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, this is really enjoyable. Been wanting to get to it for about a week. So now I'm finally here, and this is a good time. The next one I want to do, I want to get back into a little bit of the more heavy, a little more aggressive stuff from them, is I want to do different versions of Decayed Crow. So please give me what you guys think are the different and the best versions of that one. Give me some links in the comments, and I'll try to do that sometime by the end of this week or the beginning of next week. So that's the goal there. Might as well get to some of the old stuff as we're waiting for some of the new stuff. Thank you guys so much for supporting this idea. I really like this idea. I need to do it with more than just Dir En Grey. I want to do the Gazette's Wakamachi in a couple of different versions at some point as well, and some from other bands that may not be Japanese. So thank you guys. I love you. I truly appreciate you and all of the amazing amount of support I get every single day. Thank you to my law enforcement, military, veterans, and first responders for what you do. I love you. I appreciate you. As always, you have been awesome. I have been Bald Man. I will see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other and keep heading.